So again, it's all about the triangle law.
Hey, hello students. My name is Mr. Rasheen Foster. I am going to be your facilitator here on this journey called Principles of Mathematics. So there are a few things that you're going to hear me speak about regularly, and these are: questions change but principles always remain the same, confidently right or confidently wrong, but always be confident once you know you're following the principles that you learned. Alright, so this is just a little video to show you how we do things here. Alright, so as we go on, you will get a lot more videos, you will get some live sessions as well. Classes are going to be available. Alright, and as we go on and as we upgrade the equipment, you're gonna see a lot more beautiful stuff being done here. Alright, so let's start with some functions. So the function f with domain a equals 1, 2, 3 is given by f of x is equal to a half x minus 3. So the first thing I want to speak about is just what we mean by domain. And when they talk about domains, they're basically talking about the x values. Alright, so a lot of persons see those that word and they're not sure exactly what that word means, but it stands for the x values. Alright, so question 1, what is the value of f of 1? The main thing to know about functions here is that whatever is inside the bracket, you are going to replace the x in the function with that quantity. Alright, so in our bracket we have 1, so in our expression, which is a half x minus 3, I am going to substitute the x for 1 and then work that out. A half times 1 is a half, minus 3, and a half minus 3, negative 2/3. So that's our answer for the first one right there. Whatever is inside the bracket, substitute the x with that quantity. Next, question 2 says find the value of x for which f of x is equal to negative 2. Alright, so they say f of x is equal to negative 2. If we go back to the original question, it tells us that f of x is equal to negative a half minus 3. So what you're going to do for that question is that you're now going to make the half x minus 3 equal to negative 2. Right? So f of x is a half x minus 3. You're going to make that equal to negative 2. Solve the equation. So we start by transposing constant. We're going to get a half x is equal to negative 2 plus 3. A half x is equal to 1. When I transpose and cross multiply, x is equal to 1 times 2, x is equal to 2. So what that means is that when I plug 2 right here where the x is, my answer is supposed to be negative 2. Let's check that really quickly. So a half x, that means a half of 2 minus 3. A half of 2 is 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3 is indeed negative 2. Question 3. An ordered pair for the function is expressed in the form AB. Using your answers to A part 1 and A part 2 or otherwise, list the ordered pairs for the function f. Alright, so this is where our knowledge of the fact that domain stands for x values come into play here. So if we're going to list the ordered pairs for f, we're going to have to list all the coordinates using our x values here. Alright. So the first one, when x was 1, what did we get for our answer? We got negative 2/3. Then when x was 2, what did we get for our answer? We got negative 2. And so therefore when x is 3, what are we going to get for our answer? Our answer is negative 1.5. Alright, and so all you'd need to do is just that you would need to figure out f of 3. If you're following the pattern though, you should realize that you're basically subtracting a half from each of these. As I made a mistake right here, so that's negative 2.5. So if we find f of 3, that's a half of 3 minus 3. A half of 3 is 1.5 minus 3, and that's how we would get negative 1.5. That question was May 2018. Here is the final one. It says explain why f of x is not equal to negative 5 for the function specified on page 13. Alright, so again, remember that the domain that we're working with is a is equal to 1, 2, and 3. They say f of x is not equal to 5. Let's check that. Remember now that f of x is a half x minus 3. If I make this equal to 5, let us work out the x value and see what x value we would have to plug into this function to get 5. Transpose a half x is equal to 5 plus 3. A half x is equal to 8. And remember, you have to cross multiply. So x is equal to 8 times 2. My answer is 16. If we go back to what we had from before, it says that the domain, which is the x values for the function, are 1, 2, and 3. And therefore, that's the reason why f of x is not equal to 5 for this function, because in order for us to get 5, we would have had to have 16 in our domain.